Hello there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to today's video all about the AFM Advanced Financial Management ACCA exam. We are going through all of the key topic areas and syllabus that you need to know for your exam. And I know just the gentleman who is going to help us and walk and talk us through all of those critical areas that you need to know for your paper coming up. So Sunil, welcome back to the channel, my friend, and thank you for your time today to walk and talk us through one of your key main areas in your life, the AFM exam.
First of all, thank you for welcoming me back. Thank you very much indeed, James. So AFM, let's talk topics rather than the professional skills. I'll leave that to one side. So let's talk technical topics, right? The AFM syllabus has always really had two huge topics which have to be tested to some extent in every exam. The first one is advanced investment appraisal with or without real options. So that, advanced investment appraisal with or without real options would have to come into play within every exam to some extent. And I want to talk about that first.
Yep.
In real options, it would use the area of a BSOP calculation. Now, if you look at the recent exams prior to September, we've not seen the BSOP calculation appear, right, in those areas. And the reason has been because of the advent of the new BSOP calculator. This is in my opinion, the advent of the new BSOP calculator, which is now going to kick into play from September for the first time. Which will be, a game changer. So that's topic number one, must appear to some extent every paper. Then you've got the other topic, which must appear to some extent, would be risk management. And in risk management, that covers currency risk, interest rate risk, general risk management, portfolio mainly, portfolio business risk, and then treasury function tends to also appear in there. So if you want, if kind of use the word bankers, if you want bankers, you're thinking, right, what can I really hang my hat on? Those are two you definitely will hang your hat on and go, I've got to make sure I'm perfectly ready for those. But, from my analysis, and I've been around a long while, and AFM is my baby paper, my big paper, as I would put it, business valuations and corporate reconstructions has been the most tested topic in history. It's a fact. So you would say that know that area really, really well. And okay, I wrote the article on business valuation. I wrote the article on FX, MPV, etc. But you would look at that area and say, I've got to know those. And so those are the big three core areas. So I'll repeat, advanced investment appraisal with or without real options.
Yeah.
Risk management, which with all the topics in there, and then business valuation, corporate reconstruction. The others, cost of capital, and all the aspects of that, bonds, etc. That can sort of fit into what is going to be the first two, the first and the last I mentioned. And then the other one, dividend policy, and the areas of dividend policy and dividend capacity comes up on a cyclical basis, the sort of occasional basis. And before people ask me, did it come up in June? Because you're bound to ask that question, so I'll answer it. Yes, it did come up in the what I call it paper one. People have different rules. I believe there's the early morning paper sat in the Far East in India. I call that paper one. There's the UK morning paper. I call that paper two. There's the UK afternoon paper, which is the Caribbean paper, which I call paper three. And paper four is the spare paper done the following week. Yeah. Right. So it came up in paper one.
Right.
So those are the main topics to where of in AFM.
Spot on. And just to add to what you just said, which is fantastic for the viewers where they're all writing it down, pen and paper as we're talking. If a student is struggling with some of those syllabus areas, I always recommend the technical articles. You just hinted on it as we went through. How important are they to understanding those key fundamental areas to get you through the AFM exam that you can find on ACCA's website?
I think the ACCA have produced they've got 19 articles, which split into two categories. Now, I'm lucky enough. I feel privileged that I've written 4 of those, contributed to another one. So, and I look at those, they're split into 2 areas. They're split into the knowledge type, written based ones.
Yeah.
Things like reverse takeover versus IPO, that type of one, basis risk, that type of one. And then the calculations ones, which demonstrate how to process something, are they're essential. They're absolutely essential reading. I mean, they always test something from the articles. I mean, you could argue, oh, well, but if they're testing from the articles, they've tested from a textbook or kit or whatever. Yeah, you're fine. But if you take the article I wrote on business valuation, it's probably one of the most tested, if not the most tested article in terms of topic. Maybe not everything in there, but topic in the history of the exam. So yes, definitely. The ACCA were really good at doing that, and they've done a really good thing as well recently, James. They've recategorized the articles.
Okay.
They've recategorized them, and so they're in a better link to the syllabus. Right, they used to be in date order of publication, and now they're in. These are all that relate to advanced investment appraisal. These are the ones that are risk management. So that's really good. So you've got no really excuse on that side.
Lovely stuff. And in terms of all these topic areas that we've touched on here, what's your best strategy for a student who's wrote them all down? What's the best strategy for getting through them all and tackling them? Which ones are maybe a bit more technical, where you've really got to focus in on? What, from your professional opinion, how would you go about it?
Well, I know this students from all over the world here, right? So I'm going to mention something that some may or may not know. Marmite is one of those products that you either like or you hate, right? I mean, I'm going to say that I don't like Marmite, this yeast extract, but my wife does, right? So, and why am I saying Marmite, right? And James, you mentioning AFM, because risk management is Marmite to many people. Risk management, it can either be, to me, it's a thing of beauty. To me, doing a futures hedge is a thing of beauty. Yeah, but then I'm a crazy man. I'm a crazy tutor, right? So, but to other people, it's like if I switch to speaking Hindi or Punjabi, it's like, oh my God, we've gone to a different language. Put and call and buy and sell and short and long. I think, what is going on here, right? So. And it can all be controlled. Of course, it can be. It is very systematic. But what you got to do is say risk management. One you really have to start with. That's normally one that most students find a bit challenging.
Yeah.
The other one is which business valuation model to use within a particular question. It's seeing the triggers in the question as to this is doing free cash flow to equity, or this is doing PE, yeah, or sometimes, James, they twist something, and as soon as they twist it, it sort of puts the student on the back foot, right? So I'll give you a classic question. There's a question called Salorn, yeah, Selorne, Salorn, Chris Salorn, yeah, Salorn question, where the examiner said the valuation is a multiple of free cash flow to equity. Now, the student, oh, what do you mean multiple? Can't be a multiple. You discount. You discount it. No, but the examiner's saying just multiply by 9. And that's it. That's all he's asking you to do. That's all he wants you to do. Just multiply it. Nothing, anything else. And that, to me, right, is where you've got to be able to be adaptable, right? Just be adaptable. But I'll tell you where I think there's going to be a fantastic benefit for the students. Fantastic benefit. That BSOP calculator. It's beautiful. I mean, it's going to be it's just going to be, it's going to be great for them because they've only got to get one number. Really, there's only one number they could get wrong, and that's PA. Right? I can't imagine they may get T wrong if they misread start of year, end of year, but they shouldn't do. It's good to be interested with it.
Oh, good stuff. Well, it still just comes down to the bottom line of CBE question practice is paramount on there, doing questions to time, reading the requirement fully, and application back to the scenario. Those would be my overviews from all these key topic areas. When you're going through question practice, if you stick to that, then you've got a really good chance of passing this.
I think your point on application to the information in the question is of key importance at the professional level, because you're and I know from your education background and what you do, James, this is a master's level qualification. This is master's level, so you've got to treat it as master's level, and they're not expecting a generic answer.
Exactly.
They're expecting a
specific
answer. Yeah,
Spot
very
on.
much so.
Spot
Very
on.
much so.
I mean, Sunil, are there any other key syllabus areas or things looming on your Birmingham bombshell mind that you couldn't sleep tonight, didn't tell the students, that could be the difference in them passing their exam?
Right. I think that a lot of students spend a lot of time doing processing of calcs, which is understandable, because you can't learn a process of calc. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
But this is now the start, or the second week in August. I'm saying that on the 11th, right? And the exam is a month away, right? This is the time to learn theory. This is the time to absorb theory. And please, I'm not disrespecting anybody who teaches law. I love law people. They're fantastic, marvelous, right? But I always think if you go back to when you learn the law, you learn company law, you go in the exam, you pass the exam, then you've forgotten it. You go, only company law, right? If I need advice, I go to a lawyer, right? And in theory, in AFM, you learn it now. 4 weeks before you learn, you look at the Islamic finance, you look at the pros and cons of options, you understand 5 assumptions behind investment appraisal. You understand capital structure, Modigliani, Miller versus traditional theory, right? And you just got to say, now let's soak it in. You've got to be a sponge.
Absorb
1
it.
month before. Absorb it. But this is the time you'll absorb it. This is the time you'll absorb it. A month before. For me, August is a month of revision. Start absorbing. So if you're doing, for example, in December, come November, click on, let's go. And that's what you've got to look to do with it.
Spot on.
Very much
Absolutely spot on. And just to add to that, what helped from my experience was take the syllabus areas, those key topic areas that Sunil's correctly talked about today. And when you're doing question practice and you didn't know something, pop it down, separate piece of paper, and then come the night of the exam, you've got all these different pieces of paper from all the different topic areas, and you go, look at all the stuff that I didn't know. Right, time to absorb. This is what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Looks an absolute treat, I would say, on there.
Yeah.
But yes, well, thank you very much for today, Sunil. You're going to help out
so
many students. That's absolutely top
notch.
And as ever, I'm going to put all of Sunil's details, guys, in the description below. So feel free to check out his blog, all his resources. Can be the difference in getting that 50 plus, because we know what it's like when students get in touch and they go, oh, James, 48, 49.
Oh, send a shiver.
It does. It does. But that isn't how I would describe the weather. Anyone who is looking to travel to Birmingham, it is very exotic there.
Very exotic.
Sunny will tell you.
31 degrees.
Well, I hope
31 degrees.
I hope you've enjoyed today's webinar, guys. Make sure you subscribe so you get access to all the free materials, and give the video a massive like on there. And again, thank you very much, Sunil. Any questions you've got for us, leave a comment below. We'll get back to it as well. But on that Birmingham bombshell, we will see you next time. Cheers.